just a touch away. Monday to Friday at 12:30 p.m. only on Bloomberg Quint.
Good morning, you're watching the F&O Show on Bloomberg Quint Live, India's first digital live streaming business news service. I'm Navneet Saluja D'Souza.
Good morning, Navneet. I'm Agam Vakil. The top headlines this hour. Indian markets inch higher in opening trade as Nifty holds about 11,000. Broader market strong, India VIX declines. An open interest surges in Havells India and NTPCs as traders take fresh positions in their respective futures. UPL jumps most in 2 years after the company announces the acquisition of Arista Life Science to create one of the world's largest crop protection companies. An HDFC Bank dips in trade after the bank fails to meet analyst estimates in its first quarter profits. And white goods and paint makers trade with strong gains after the GST Council slashes rates on over 55 items in its 28th Council meet on Saturday.
Okay, so those are the top headlines at this hour. Let's also tell you what's happening in the markets right now. Remember, this is the expiry week, so you can expect more of volatility to come by. So as of now, if you look at the index, it's just holding on in the positive territory, though it's come off the opening high levels that we've seen for the day, at least 11,030. At least it's still comfortably trading above the mark of 11,000. Pull up the Nifty futures. That'll show you if there is any sort of build-up that has come in on the open interest side. Not really, but the premium has definitely contracted to nearly 5 to 6 points. Let's just do a check for Bank Nifty as well and see what's happening on that front. Remember, because of HDFC Bank, which has been muted post its numbers, that's been a that's a heavy weight in both Nifty and Bank Nifty, which is weighing on both these indices. So right now, Nifty Bank almost down just about marginally, but premium is intact for the futures at about 50 to 54 points. Volatility on day one of the new week seems to be on the lower side, so that's some comforting sign for the bulls. The India volatility index is right now trading with cuts of nearly 2%, so watch out for that. And as I mentioned, this is the expiry week, so let's just quickly do a recap what Nifty's done, at least for this series. If you look at this series, it started on 28th June, and from thereabouts, Nifty's gained almost 450 points, and Bank Nifty's gained nearly 500 points. So 4% higher for Nifty, almost 2% higher for Bank Nifty. Some bit of outperformance definitely seen from the benchmark Nifty this time around for the July series. But the broader markets today seem to be a bit mixed. We've seen some bit of result reaction coming by, and mid-cap index is down 24 points, whereas the small-cap index is seeing marginal gains of nearly 30 points in trade. Let's tell you what's happening on the option side. In today's session, the maximum open interest on the put side has actually moved from 10,800 to almost 10,900. So a lot of activity actually seen on the 10,900 put strike as we speak, because that's seen some open interest addition of almost 3 lakh shares. If you look at the range that one can expect now for this series, it is between the 10,900 to almost 10,100. So watch out for that range. And on the call side, 11,100 remains active today also, as it has seen addition of nearly almost 2.5 lakh shares as we speak. What are the institutions doing then? Last week throughout, they seem to be protected actually on the downside, because almost 1 lakh contracts were added on the put long side. And remember, they've also turned net long on the index futures side, because there were a lot of contracts added even on the long side for index futures. Agam, but what's happening with the stock futures?
Well, some unusual names showing up today, Navneet, on account of earnings, as well as several other factors. Like right at the top of the list, we will have Havells India, and that's seen a surge of 28%, even as the underlying advances by 9%. This is largely on account of the earnings that we saw over the weekend, and that's possibly the reason why we're seeing so much strength in the stock. Not usually one to show up on the F&O list, but today futures seeing substantial longs building up out here. HDFC is the other one. The underlying has not changed, but there is a substantial increase in open interest. Of course, we've had its earnings come on the weekend for HDFC as well. Pardon me, that was HDFC Bank. And of course, we also have Power Grid along with TCS. TCS once again at around 2,000 rupees per share. Not too much to speak for. And South Indian Bank taking quite a knock. That's down by as much as 17% right now as we speak, and it sees a surge of as much as 9% in OI. So a lot of stocks out there, mostly to do with earnings levels, and some possibly, while the underlying remains unchanged, Navneet, I suspect some will be taking positions before the earnings come through.
That's right, and this is going to be an earnings-heavy week as well. So we'll get you some views on the stock futures. But before we do that, here's a reminder for you all. If you're watching the F&O Show and if you have any queries, you can call us now on 022-4540-4141. You can also write to us on our platforms, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube with AskPQ hashtag. Let's welcome our F&O experts then. Abhijit Phatak of Definedge Solutions and Chandan Taparia of Motilal Oswal Securities are here with us. Good morning to both of you gentlemen, and appreciate you guys joining us once again on this show. Chandan, I think 11,075 or 80, which is the recent high, will once again act as a big resistance on Nifty. But are you taking any trade at current levels?
Yeah, good morning, Navneet. If you look at the market movement, the Nifty has been consolidating between 10,923 to 11,078 kind of zone. And on downside, we have seen shift in the put writing. Already you have discussed each and every database which we keep on focusing on day-to-day basis. Put writing has shifted from 10,800 to 10,900, 11,000, and that's why expecting 10,929 to 10,950 zone to act as a major support. But at the same time, maximum call open interest is intact at 11,100 followed by 11,000, and that's why the immediate hurdle of 10,078, 10,080 is likely to pose the positive momentum in the market. So overall bias is positive, and because of this hurdle at 11,080, market is finding supply near to those zones. But what I believe, if market remains here, then towards the expiry, some short covering could be seen in the Nifty index. Overall, the index is up by around 4.20% in the entire series compared to the Bank Nifty movement of around 2%. We are trading higher to volume weightage average, and volume weightage average for the entire series is near to 10,900. So that is also supporting fresh put writing at 10,900 zone. So as of now, the bias could remain positive to range bound till it holds about 10,950, 11,000 zone. We will continue to be on the bullish side and looking for an up move towards 11,080 and then 11,120 kind of level in the next couple of trading sessions.
Enough. Abhijit, good morning to you as well. How are you viewing trade on the indices right now, considering Nifty is just above the mark of 11,000 at this point?
Yeah, Nifty continues with the resistance of 11,075.80. So on any rise, one should go short with a stop loss of just 10 points, maybe above 80, 85. And below 11,000, it might again test that 10,920 bottom. So one has to be careful with longs here.
Okay, so stay careful with your long positions. In fact, Abhijit's recommendation is to short on any sort of increase in Nifty levels if you get to see. So his resistance mark is 11,070.80. But let's get you some stock specific ideas going. Chandan, which are the stock futures that you're betting on in today's trade?
See, I'll select for a couple of mid-cap name which has seen this recent bottom out process, and suddenly the build-up of long position is started to witness. However, we continue to remain bullish on selective heavyweights in the market. So first I go with Voltas. This stock has bottomed out. It has surpassed multiple hurdle of 548, 550 zone, and given the decisive close above the same even on the Friday and holding the same above 50-day exponential moving average and added open interest near to 9 to 10%. So expecting a positive momentum led by short covering. One can buy with a stop loss of 550, and this stock has potential to move towards 580, 585 kind of level. Second trade is IGL. We have seen the buying interest in selective gas companies. IGL has been making higher highs, higher lows from last 4 to 5 trading session. After the short covering, now 4 to 5% open interest added. That clearly indicates the build-up of long position led by short covering. It has also surpassed its falling supply trend line. So one can look at buy on IGL on a small dip with a stop loss of 274, and this stock can move towards 300 kind of levels.
Abhijit, what about you? I believe you have one long call and one short call for today.
Yeah, I have a long on Havels with a stop loss below 600, maybe 595, 598. It can be bought on any dip. It has already reached the first target, which was 610, but above that it can go towards 620 also.
Okay, that's a long call on Havels. Abhijit, anything else?
Yeah, one short in Vedanta, which has not shown any strength at all whatsoever. So if it cannot cross the high today, which is near 205, one can go short with a stop loss above that for targets of 195 or maybe even 190.
Okay, so one short and one long call for the day from Abhijit Phatak in terms of stock futures. But let's also just discuss few stock futures which are buzzing in today's trading session, either on back of numbers or GST rate revisions. So you've got something like ITC, Godfrey Phillip, all of them have surged, and these are the securities which are in the futures and options market as well. L&T Housing Finance reacting to its numbers, and obviously UPL reacting to that deal which was announced over the weekend. So Chandan, let me first take a view on the Nifty company, UPL, which did see some bit of shorting, some bit of correction before the deal was announced. But considering the correction that has already taken place and keeping in mind today's surge, do you think the stock's bottomed out now?
See, the stock was continuously making lower top, lower bottom formation, and short-term bottom has been seen. But the problem is whether it surpasses the hurdle or not. That will decide the next leg of rally. But it seems that short-term bottom is processed. Now it has to surpass 605 zone. If that happens, then immediately it can head to a 635 to 650 kind of zone. So I think some volatility could be there in the counter, but it has seen a positive divergence on the price and the mechanical indicators, and turning from its deep oversold territory. So some relief could be seen, but what I believe above 605 only the fresh leg of rally could be seen in the counter.
Okay, I'm going to try and be an amateur technical analyst here, and I'm going to address Bajaj Finance and Bajaj Finserv. Bajaj Finance is a curious one because we've seen substantial strength come through. It just keeps going from one high to another. There's no stopping this one. I'm looking at the 14-day RSI. At this point in time, it's at around 87 according to Bloomberg. Can we also pull up Bajaj Finserv at this point? And Bajaj Finserv, well, it's trading around 6,800 right now. There's no stopping this one either, and there's more longs building up to the system. Abhijit, can I come to you on both these counters right now? My first question would be, one, that would you take fresh longs at this point in time? And two, what would you do if you have already had long positions in both these counters? Would you book, or would you just ride this move as long as it lasts?
Yeah, as you said, they are quite overbought, so there is no question of any fresh longs. And if someone is carrying longs, he should hold the morning stop low as a stop loss and carry, and hope it goes further higher.
Okay, that's on Bajaj Twins, which have been surging since last week, and in fact there's been good buying seen in both these stocks and good longs also being seen in both Bajaj Finserv and Bajaj Finance in Friday's trade. Chandan, coming back to you with the other Nifty counter and one of the heavyweights as well, ITC, that surged 4%. It's trading somewhere about 285. The stock for the longest time, Chandan, has been languishing in that range of 250 to 270 or 75. What sort of levels would you expect considering today's surge of 4%? Can one look at levels of 300 in near term on ITC?
Yes, I think after this consolidation breakout, some momentum could be seen. Earlier it was finding hurdle near to 285, and it has gone to those levels, and now next hurdle is near to 291 and 300 kind of zone. So I think slow and steady the stock has potential to move on those levels. It has formed multiple price pattern at the recent decline, including the cup and handle or rounding bottom, or including head and shoulder kind of level. We have seen open interest addition of around 6 to 7%. Many people have done the 280 call writing, and unwinding into 280 started to seen, and which may shift it to 291, 300 kind of zone. So upmove could be seen, and this positive price setup could take it to higher level. Those who are holding can continue to be with long position by putting a stop loss of 278 for an upmove towards 291 and then 300 level on the positional basis.
All right, there you have it. Abhijit's already spoken about Havells, and he's long on it at this point in time. But Chandan, how about you? What would your view be on Havells India? Would you also take longs, fresh longs at this time? And if you would, what levels would you watch out for as you move into trade?
Yes, Havells has given a breakout from its rising channel pattern. It has surpassed its supply trend line and seen the breakout with open interest addition of around 28-30%. It was finding multiple hurdle near to 565 zone, 570 zone. It has conquered that level with a range breakout with spurt in the trading volume, and it has entered to the recent lifetime high territory. And I think because of that now the option regime is going to shift on the higher side. So what I believe now, till it holds above 580, 585 zone, it may continue its momentum towards 620-25 zone. So best suggestion will be buy on a small dip for an up move or higher side target in the counter, and I think this momentum could take it to the next leg of rally.
That's the view coming in on Havells. But the other stock which is buzzing in today's session, Godrej Consumer has also seen a good surge of almost 2 to 2.5%. Let's just pull up that one and see what the futures are doing for Godrej Consumer. That's up 3% in trade. Okay, no major build-up actually seen an open interest. In fact, that's down 1%. Maybe some bit of short covering seen here. Abhijit, if I could come to you on Godrej Consumer with 3% rise, what are the charts indicating, at least for today's move?
It has a resistance near 1340, 45. So unless that is crossed, any fresh longs will be a bit risky.
All right, so that's the view on Godrej Consumer right now, and I actually have another one-on-one question. So I'm going to toss it over to Chandan to explain the concept of volume-weighted average, because this is a question that we've also been getting. Chandan, you know, I'm going to go back to the Bajaj Finance futures, because that's the one which is buzzing right now at this point in time. And I was actually looking at the Bajaj Finance VWAP for this series so far, and it stands around 2,500 rupees per share. That is one variable that you're keeping an eye on, and of course we all know that it's looking at tremendous strength. Now, keeping these variables in mind, Chandan, how would you determine the direction of a stock price, and what significance does the VWAP play in this case if you were to use this example?
Yes, I'm a hardcore follower of the VWAP, and I keep on getting many questions regarding the same, even on the Twitter and the other social medias, and I think Bloomberg Quint is the right platform to explain on the same. Talking about the VWAP, what we believe that derivatives is zero-sum game, and those who are trapped are likely to trade more. Those who are gaining are likely to gain more. That is the concept of the volume weighted average. And what we believe that people keeps on trading, and VWAP is similar to the max pen also. Like in option, we understand where the most of the options buyers are losing, market try to settle near to those in. So now directly coming to the VWAP level, VWAP is this is the volume weighted average of the entire day or month or week. We keep on following the series VWAP, weekly VWAP, or the daily VWAP. Now, if you talk about the Bajaj Finance daily VWAP, let's say to get the trading opportunity, then the daily weighted average for the Bajaj Finance is near to 2766, and stock is hovering near to the same. So that is not giving any major sign of the momentum and the strength, because more it moves higher to the VWAP, more the trend is likely to be positive and more chances of the short covering to happen. But now if you look at the volume weighted average of the entire series, in the entire series is up by around 20 to 22%, and the average is near to 2500 zone. So now there are very less chance the stock can fall to 2500 zone. So people will try to ride the 2500 strike put. And what I believe, if I look at the weekly volume weighted average of the last week, that was near to 2720 zone. So that is likely to act as a support. So for me, till it doesn't break 2720 kind of zone, and that is the VWAP of the last series, and especially when we last week, especially when we have seen the strong spurt. So for me, the 2720 is likely to act as a support, and if the stock declines by 20-30 points, then I'll buy with support of 2720 to ride the next leg of rally into the counter.
Okay, and markets clearly not shying away, Chandan, for paying that premium on quality stocks like Bajaj Finance. But let's move on and shift our focus to the other segment, where we try and address a couple of our viewer queries. Ravi Shankar has written to us on YouTube. He's got Bata India futures at a price of 867, and obviously the stock's doing well, on back of numbers and also some GST revision. But remember, the revision does not impact Bata so much because they focus on premiumization products now. 5.5% higher, 889, and bought at 867. Abhijit, lot size of 1100, sitting on good profit of nearly 24,000. Do you think it's the right time to book profits, or one can trail stop loss here for Bata India?
No, I think you can hold it with a stop loss just above 875 or maybe 876 kind of stop loss, and near 890 or 900 you can book profit.
All right, there you have it. That's the view on Bata India, which is also surging, of course, not only on the back of its strong earnings, but do remember that the GST for 5% on footwear has been extended from 500 rupees per share per pair, to 1,000 rupees per pair. And that, of course, augurs well for not only Bata India, but several other, companies which do trade in the footwear space. That said, well, week in and week out, we keep getting questions on PC Jeweler. And, while we do put up and suggest that PC Jeweler, because it's so news-based, a lot of our analysts would suggest avoiding taking any trades. That said, I'm still going to address this one. On YouTube, we have Rahul Anandpara, and his question is actually straightforward. What's the view on PC Jeweler? So I'm going to toss it over to Chandan. Chandan, what would you advise Rahul to do with PC Jeweler? Take positions towards a long shot, or absolutely avoid at this time?
I'll avoid to comment on the same because trend has gone negative. It is continuously making lower top, lower bottom. So my suggestion is try to reduce if any bounce back in the counter.
Okay, PC Jewelers up 11%. Remember, on Friday the stock was up nearly 20%. Not to forget, it's a beaten down counter. However, moving away from PC Jewelers, we've got a query coming in on Bank Nifty. One of our viewers on YouTube wants to know how to deal with Bank Nifty in today's trading session. Well, Bank Nifty has been muted today, reason being HDFC Bank, which is a heavy weight on this index, that's been trading in the negative territory. Remember, Bank Nifty has higher weightage and Nifty also of 11%. Abhijit, if somebody is looking to take a fresh trade on Bank Nifty, what levels would you recommend, support and resistance? And our viewer wants to know how to deal with this one in today's trade.
Support near 26,700 on the futures, and 27,50 on is the resistance on the higher side. So any trade right now is out of question, but on any dip near 800 or maybe 750, he can go long with a stop loss at 26,650, and maybe book near 27,000.
All right, there you have it. Well, among many others which are actually, seeing a lot of movement right now. Well, one of them is HDFC Limited. So let's pull that one out as well. And I'm sure our experts will be tracking this one as well, considering we've seen an increase in OI today, specifically in the July futures as well. If we can possibly pull up what the August futures are also seeing, considering we are looking at expiry now. So we're likely to see traction in the forward-looking series too. Again, we're seeing a surge in here as well. Now, I'm not certain if this is towards the long or the short side, considering the stock today is absolutely flat. But Abhijit, if I can come back to you, how does HDFC look on the charts right now, and the possible levels, the resistance as well as the supports to keep an eye on for this one?
Yeah, it has been in an uptrend, but somehow something tells me it is not going to shoot up further. And today's high is quite a big resistance near 1970 on the futures, 1990. And unless it crosses and closes above 1990, any longs at this stage will be a bit of a problem.
Okay, that's HDFC, but one pack which is trending lower in today's session is the auto pack. Pull up the Nifty Auto Index. I guess that's your top sectoral loser for the day as well. So that's down nearly 0.7% as we speak. That's the Nifty Auto Index, almost a day's low. Just want to highlight a few constituents here. TVS Motors has touched fresh 52-week low in today's trade. That's down 5% in trade. You've got something like Hero MotoCorp. That's also seen a cut of almost 3 to 4%. But remember, Bajaj Auto, which came out with the numbers on Friday, which tumbled nearly 8%, is down another 2.5%. And also something like Motherson Sumi, which surged in last hour of trade on Friday, has seen some profit booking kicking in of almost 2% in trade. Chandan, anything in the auto pack where you think there is an opportunity for fresh shorting, considering we've seen a correction coming by for all of these stocks?
First, talking about the Nifty Auto Index, that is continuously falling down from last 3 weeks, making lower top, lower bottom formation, and it has gone to the major support of 10,600. And this is the multiple support, most of them it is, but clearly the nervousness is visible and every bounce is being sold in the auto companies. So on shorting side, one can look at the Hero Moto. However, already it has seen the sharp decline, so bounce back could again attract the buying interest. The stock is trading at multi-month low level, and I think the weakness could take it to lower levels. Shorts are being built and call writing is visible in the counter. Apart from that, I think some more weakness could be seen in Bajaj Auto. Counter like TVS Motor also broken the immediate support. So Hero Motor will be the preferred pick where I'll sell on bounce back.
All right, well, there you have it. That's the view on the auto sector, of course, which has also been buzzing in trade right now. And among many other counters, what you've also seen is a lot of traction in something like TCS, along with, Well, of course. Okay, so let's talk about TCS, because it has been surging, and at least as far as this open interest is concerned, up as much as 12%. And its underlying is also up by as much as 1% at around 2008. Can we take positions here? Let's ask Abhijit for that one. Abhijit, would you advise taking positions in TCS right now, or are you expecting consolidation? What's going on with this one?
No, I expect consolidation in TCS around this 2000 level. And one can go short in the 2000 straddle, shorting the call as well as shorting the put. I don't think it will go off higher or even go lower much. It might consolidate within a 50-100 point range.
That's TCS for you. Just quickly take a view from Chandan on L&T Finance Holdings. That's up 5% right now. Remember, that's reacting actually on back of the earnings today. Chandan, any thoughts on Nifty Finance Holdings, L&T Finance Holdings, and also tell us if there is any other interesting stock which is popping up on your screen currently.
Yes, talking about the Nifty Financial, some consolidation and the decline is being bought here. Talking about the L&T Finance, the stock is bottomed out after the weakness of last couple of weeks, and we have seen a strong positive divergence on price and mechanical indicators including RSI and MACD and other. We have seen put writing activity, and stock has surpassed its falling supply trend line. That's why we have seen a strong spurt of around 4.5 to 5% in the counter. Now the base is shifting to 157, 158, so one can use that stop loss to trade towards 170, 171 kind of level. Now, if you talk about two other buzzing counter, what I believe that after the decline of last 3-4 trading session, now HUL is finding bottom process. We have seen the strong momentum in ITC, so HUL could be again counter to focus. Already we have discussed about IGL or Voltas, and buying interest could continue to emerge here.
All right, I think we have time to take just one more query, so I'm going to address one on YouTube from Sharid Muhammad. His question is with respect to NBCC. Can we take a look at the futures right now, as well as the underlying perhaps change in open interest? It's down, well, about 0.3% when it comes to its underlying, and its open interest is up as much as 2%. Abhijit, your view on NBCC and levels to watch out for?
NBCC?
Yes, NBCC.
NBCC is weak as long as it is below 64, 65. So one should not go look for any longs here. And support is near 60, 61.
Okay, hope that answers your query. Watch out for those levels being recommended by Abhijit Phatak. Well, we're running out of time on the show. Would like to thank both our guests today, Chandan and Abhijit. Appreciate you joining us and taking us through your views in the F&O market, and also helping our viewers with their individual queries.
Well, with that, it's a wrap in this edition of the F&O Show. But on the other side, we decode the June quarter numbers for Just Dial with Abhishek Bansal of Just Dial, and also Bajaj Auto with S. Ravi Kumar of Bajaj Auto. Stay tuned to the Bloomberg Quint.